Welcome to the Oregon Minute. This week we are interviewing the new superintendent, Leslie Bergstrom. Welcome, Leslie.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So you said you started July 1st? Is that correct?
I did. I've been in the school district for 17 years. So on July 1st is when I moved my office down one. So that was the official start.
So how does it feel to be the new superintendent? Are you adjusting okay?
I am. I had such an amazing friend and mentor in Dr. Bussler. So he was helping me for quite a while assume new and different responsibilities that would prepare me for the time when he was gone and I was in the chair. So he was really instrumental in ensuring I felt comfortable, and I certainly do. I feel like this is a time that it's really important to have someone who's familiar with the school district as we're starting off the new year in such an unusual way.
So tell us about some of your new responsibilities as superintendent. How have your days changed?
Well, that's a great question. And because the transition has been so gradual that it might almost be difficult to see how the changes have happened, because we have been doing this over the course of time now for a while, helping me understand and assume different responsibilities. However, I would say that the summertime is always different because our students aren't with us. So whether I was the deputy superintendent or the superintendent, when you start in the middle of July and there aren't students in the building, everything becomes very, it's office work. It's lots and lots of Google Meets and lots of phone calls, and not as much of the fun stuff like getting to stop by the kindergarten classroom to read a story. Those kinds of things will need to wait for now. But a lot of things are currently happening, so I stay quite busy in the summer.
So what background do you bring to this position?
Well, I was a high school teacher for 10 years. I taught at Madison East High School. I was a social studies teacher. And I also was the student activities coordinator. So I had the opportunity to learn a lot about the different aspects of operating a high school. I had a great mentor in Milt McPike. And I also have to say Lee Thomas. He was a fantastic mentor. So Lee, if you're watching, thank you and hello. And then after 10 years at East, I was an associate principal at Cherokee Middle School for a year. That's also a school in Madison. That was a fantastic experience with really talented people. And then on my last day of my last graduate class for my master's degree, I saw a sign saying that Oregon High School was looking for an associate principal. And I applied, and that was 2003. So I've been here a while now. For 6 years as a high school associate principal, 5 years as the principal of RCI, and then since then I've either been the director of learning and student achievement, or most recently the deputy superintendent. So I've had the opportunity, really grateful for the opportunities, to experience school systems and all kinds of different roles, all different ways of serving students and serving families. And they've really contributed to a wide knowledge set related to the needs of students, families, and systems.
So what skills or what personality traits do you bring to the position?
Oh, well, that's an interesting question. I think one of the most critical skills for somebody who's in this type of position is the ability to be empathetic. We need to have empathy for the experiences of our students, our families, and certainly our staff. And then the next most important thing is the ability to communicate, because we need to have clear and consistent communication with all members of our school community. And so being able to do that is a critical component to the job, honestly. And after empathy and communication, I would say persistence and problem-solving skills, because that is often what we're doing. We're trying to think upstream to prevent problems and to create smooth and enriching situations. and when problems do occur, how to make sure they're solved with the student at the center of all of the positive thinking that goes into solving any problem.
So this question is probably has a very multifaceted answer. But what are your priorities for the upcoming school year as superintendent?
Well, you're right. It is a multifaceted question. And a couple of things. And the first is the one that's probably the most obvious, and that is ensuring a high quality education in the midst of a health and safety crisis. So that is really what's taking up the vast majority of all of our time at the moment, is ensuring that we are providing for the needs of our students and our community while prioritizing the health and safety, and that includes mental health as well as physical health of our students and our staff. Because if they're not healthy, then nothing else really matters. So trying to work our way through the possibilities of what school will look like this fall, and then what changes we may have to make, and being prepared for those changes over the course of the school year, that right now is the #1 priority. However, that does not mean that we're taking our eye off the other issues that are extremely important in the school district. For example, the school board came out with a very strong statement in June related to existing inequities within our school system and how we were going to work to become an anti-racist district. And despite the fact that we're in the midst of a health crisis, we cannot forget our commitment to our students and to our families and what all of that means. So those two things are pretty much very large areas of focus, in addition to the fact that we're always examining how are we contributing to the positive mental health supports for our students, because that's also a significant part of reaching the whole child, which is a huge commitment for our district. Academics are extremely important, but you have to look at the needs of the whole child to really prepare them for the academic learning that's necessary. So, planning for our future related to this health crisis, ensuring we're making positive strides towards a more equitable environment, always considering the needs of the whole child and every part of our system that contributes to that. And then ensuring that we're doing everything we can to continue to improve the level of instruction we're offering our kids. They deserve it. Even in the midst of a health crisis, they deserve the best possible education we can offer them.
So one topic that's been in the national sphere, I think, within the last couple of weeks is how schools are going to reopen in the fall. And that's a huge topic that is encompassed in the health crisis. And so how is the district going to handle reopening, or is that something that's in the works?
Well, it's definitely a work in progress, because as anyone who's watching the news knows, things are changing rapidly related to what we understand about COVID-19 and the safety measures that are necessary. So what we thought we might be able to do at the beginning of June looks different than what we believe we can do now, because our information continues to change. However, we are working really diligently with all of our partners to ensure that we have the right set of information, the data and the science necessary to make decisions. And we're also working collaboratively with our fellow Dane County districts, because we are all facing the same issues and we're using the same set of information to make decisions. And even though we're serving different communities, we have an awful lot in common. So we definitely are talking frequently, once a week, and we're also meeting with public health. Once a week in a meeting just with superintendents and public health, and once a week on a larger call. Because the information that comes to us from public health is super critical in the decision making. Because that is what's happening locally related to COVID-19, and that has a really big impact on what we can provide our kids in a safe manner.
I would imagine it's especially difficult because on one side you have the option of offering virtual learning, which there are some children and families who don't have access to the internet and don't have the proper resources. And then on the other side, you risk, opening the physical building, and then what protocols can you take there, having a bunch of people in a space at once? So I'm sure as superintendent, you're balancing those two, that dichotomy of things.
Because what you first mentioned is one of the issues connected to equity. And really, equity is at the core of the whole decision-making process. Because as I mentioned earlier, we have to be able to give a high-quality education to every one of our students, even when their internet's not working. So how are we going to do that, and what are we prepared to do to make that happen?
What other challenges do you anticipate facing amid not just the health crisis, but the social justice and economic crisis as well?
Well, one of the things that's really important is to be ever mindful of the current health situation, but not allow ourselves to become so consumed that we forget about what else is important, like our commitment to equity. And so one of the things I expect is that we will need to be super mindful of not taking our eye off that really important issue, even though there will be so many operational issues that are critical to deal with. So as far as challenges that I see in working toward our goal of an anti-racist system, it'll be ensuring that we're providing learning and growing opportunities for our students and our community and our staff simultaneously, because schools are part of the community and we all need to be working together on something in a united way if we really want to accomplish what we stated we want to accomplish. So I think that will be challenging and exciting, and something that I think most of us are looking forward to in a huge way, because we have the opportunity to really make a difference, not just as a school district, but as a whole united community. How are you going to ensure that when all of our kids, as they attend our schools, they see themselves in the curriculum, they feel supported and valued, they know they have a place? And that is something that we're always working toward, and we can't take our eye off that ball, even though the health crisis is taking up so much of our time.
What of your background do you feel prepared you for facing the challenges we just talked about? Or do you feel ready?
That's a great question. No, I feel very confident. And the reason that I feel confident is that over the course of time in the Oregon School District, we have built a really amazing team. Because it's never one person, it's about the team and how well we work together in service of a common mission. And I'm going to give Dr. Bussler an awful lot of credit for that, because that's how we have hired for years now. We've hired related to people who are mission focused and who are committed to the same things that we're committed to. And those are our 5 values. That's what we're committed to. And that's what we look for when we hire people. And consequently, we have created a team that I know that no matter what crisis we're faced with, we will be able to put the students first, put the needs of the students first, and problem solve whatever we're facing. And when you know you have a good team, when things happen, you feel like you can manage it because you're managing it together. So when I say team, I'm definitely talking about my district office colleagues, but I'm talking about every one of the Oregon School District employees too. Because I think they showed last spring that they're nothing short of amazing in what they're willing to do and how far they're willing to go to meet the needs of kids.
Well, Leslie, I think that's a really great place to conclude. Unless, is there anything else, anything I missed that you would like to mention here?
Well, I guess just how grateful I am to this community. This community is remarkably supportive of their schools. And because of that, because of their support, we really are able to attract and retain the highest quality teachers. And we're able to do a terrific job for our students because we have such a supportive community. So as long as I'm here and people might be watching, I just want to say thank you because They are really, really good to the schools, and we appreciate them very much.
Well, best of luck to you. Thank you for watching the Oregon Minute. Tune in next week when we interview Mike Grace about village finances and his upcoming retirement.